everyone. I wanted to welcome you to this little presentation. I was asked to kind of talk to you about, your rights as a patient and mostly about privacy and confidentiality as a patient. So let's talk about it. As a patient, though, we have rights. As a patient, you have 4 basic rights. What are these rights? The first one is going to be, you get to choose your own medical care. So many people don't know this, but if you're not happy with your medical provider, you have the right to kind of fire them and go find your own medical care. Sally says, I've been going to Dr. Finks and I love him. And I really, really think you should try him. You have the right to give it a try and see if you like him. Another example would be a physical therapist. Say, your doctor says, you need physical therapy. I want you to go to this place. You're like, but that place is 20 minutes away from my house. There's a place right by my house. You have the right to choose a place right by your house. Another big one is you get to refuse any type of medical care. So let's say you've tried physical therapy out. It isn't working. Your physical therapist is like, I think you need to get a hip replacement. So you go see Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith says, well, I have this new invasive, hip replacement. You'll be back on your feet 5 weeks. Little minimal physical therapy, you'll be good. But you've heard horrible reviews about it. You're like, I don't want to do that. Well, you have the right to refuse that type of surgery. You want that regular old hip replacement that, takes 14 weeks to heal from? You have the right to refuse the other hip replacement. Some religions also, you're not allowed to have a blood transfusion. They have that right to refuse a blood transfusion. Another one is that most people don't know about is access to your own information. Your own medical records. You have access to that. So many people are scared to ask their doctor's office, can I have, my medical records? Because, some people are like, are they second guessing what I'm saying? But you have the right to access your own information. The last one is one we're going to talk about today, and that is privacy and confidentiality. You have the right to your privacy and confidentiality as a patient. So let's sit back and consider for a moment. You're in an assisted living facility and you get done with dinner. And you're like, all right, I'm done with dinner. I'm going to go back upstairs. And all of a sudden you are in the elevator with staff members. And you overhear them. They're talking about a resident being discussed about, their embarrassing moment that they had before dinner. We've all had accidents and whatnot. The staff member is talking to another staff member about it, and you're standing right there. Do you think that's an invasion of that resident's privacy? Yes, it is. How would you feel if you knew that staff members were discussing your care while other people were around that could hear? You probably felt like your privacy was invaded. So what is privacy? The broad definition is a state or condition of being free, of being free from being observed or disturbed by other people. So in the healthcare industry, what is privacy? Privacy is your state of mind, a specific place, a freedom from insertion or control over the exposure of self or personal information. The right of privacy gives us the right to decide who gets access to information about ourselves. We have the right to decide who, when, and where shares our healthcare information. Privacy includes the right to choose care based on personal beliefs, feelings, recommendations. It also includes the right to accept or reject treatment. Privacy entitles us to keep our thoughts, feelings, and personal information being shared with others. It's having control over our own information, and privacy is an essential to maintain human dignity. I like to find these little cartoons. And this one is, your medical records are safe with us. We take patients' privacy very seriously. When you're looking at this, I'd hope that if I was in the hospital, a nurse would catch this and they would, cover me up. Be like, oh, JD, you need to cover up your bottom. That part is part of privacy. So, oops, sorry, went back one. What is patient confidentiality? So what is it? It is a conscious effort by every healthcare worker to keep private information revealed to us while we are receiving care. This means that when a client gives us information to us healthcare workers, they are trusting us with their secrets. They're trusting that we will not spread those secrets. We can describe confidentiality as a client's right to accept that personal information revealed to a healthcare worker will remain secret, only to be used for the purpose of which it was given. In other words, confidentiality refers to the handling of information once someone discloses it to us. So what does patient confidentiality include? That includes your identity, your emotional status. Oh, sorry. It includes your physical or physiological state, even your financial situation. So, with that being said, what does it mean when your privacy or confidentiality is invaded? So privacy is invaded when an unauthorized person gains access to another person's private information. Confidentiality is violated when someone talks about a person's private information to another person without the first person's consent. The healthcare worker who eavesdrops on a client's conversation with a visitor, that is violating the person's confidentiality, or person's privacy, sorry. The employee who discussed personal issues about her residents' healthcare status with others during coffee breaks, that is breaching confidentiality. I want you to kind of sit back and watch this video. It's about how to maintain patients' confidentiality.
The nearest emergency department. Reporters swarm the hospital exterior, waiting for photos or to talk to a staff person who's willing to divulge even a tidbit about the event. Somehow, a photo will be taken inside the hospital and published in a tabloid. An all-star athlete goes into an exclusive rehab facility. Again, reporters want to know the details of why he was admitted and how long he will be there. An ordinary citizen goes into a local bank for a loan, but the manager somehow learns from his physician friend that this person has a serious medical condition, and so the application is refused. Are these examples immoral? Yes. Unethical? Yes. But they are also against the law.
So, against the law, well, I can't tell you. With every rule or law, there is an exception. The only time healthcare workers have the right to release any type of information is if it's required by the state. So let's say in infectious diseases. Back 2 years ago, Chipotle had a really bad breakout of E. coli. And the only way that we were able to tell that it came from Chipotle was by many people getting sick and healthcare workers telling the state, look, I got 5 people in the hospital. They're sick with E. coli. They all ate from Chipotle. Bang, we got where the E. coli breakout in the United States. Child protection. I believe a children is getting abused at home, we have the right to report it. Same with elderly. Public's interest. If we believe that it's preventing harm to others or exposing or detecting or preventing a crime, we have the right to report that to authorities. The only time a healthcare is able to breach any kind of confidentiality is they must have a justifiable reason why they are exposing, they are breaching the confidentiality of a patient. Today, we've learned a lot in, the amount of time that we've had. And I like to, at the end, I like to do little quizzes to make sure that you're paying attention. So it's quiz time. So what are your basic rights as a patient? Remember, there were 4 of them. That was choosing your own medical care, refusing any type of medical treatment, access to your own information, and your privacy and confidentiality. The next question is, what does it mean for you in a healthcare setting? What does privacy mean for you in a healthcare setting? Does it mean, state of mind, knowing that your healthcare information is locked up in a safe, knowing that no one's going to be able to tell anyone your secrets? What does patient confidentiality mean? Or what does it include? That includes your identity, your emotional status, physical and physiological state, and your financial situation. So this last one is a question, just to see if you all have really been listening to me today. If your doctor believes that you are getting abused by a healthcare provider, do they have the right to report it? Yes, they do. They have the right to report that you are being abused by a healthcare provider, by your family, whatnot. It's the only time that they're able to. I want to sit down. I want to thank you all for joining me today. It's been a great time. If any of you guys have any questions, you're more than welcome to ask me now. I'll be able to answer them for you. Thank you and have a great night.